Guild for the first time, I'll just kind of give a quick just rundown about us and introduce ourselves to you guys real quick. So we are one cross-chain guild, aka also known as OXG. We're a non-financially incentivized guild. All I mean by that is you don't have to pay or subscribe to participate or get involved. We basically kind of reward those who participate the most, and through our ranking system, and it's really kind of socially driven. And we do have our own roadmap in our documents where we're working on a bunch of fun projects as well. I think we're working on a metaverse guild headquarters where there will be rooms you can rent out, and we're also going to have like our profile picture NFTs that are going to work as kind of like the access or the keys to this headquarters and to this guild headquarters. So there's PFPs, there's avatars, there's rooms, there's land. So a bunch of fun things in development. Really just kind of community-driven projects, really driving the whole guild aspect with the GameFi future of gaming in Web3. And so that's kind of where we are with all this. And so definitely welcome you guys. And, we're Harmony-based, as the name implies. We're cross-chain, but we're definitely Harmony, based. We love Harmony. And so, we're just looking to shine a light on anything that we kind of deem promising and what we like and what we want to support. And so DeFi The Gods obviously is a part of that. And I see Soaring Fish in here. Let me make sure. I see my request. If you want to join us, you definitely can request to speak. And also everyone else can request to speak too. This is AMA. So if you guys have any questions for DeFi The Gods, go ahead and join us. What's up, Soaring Fish?
What up?
Yo.
So I just gave a brief rundown about us and just kind of the market. So hopefully more people join us, but also for the people that are the few in the proud in the crowd, obviously higher chances for winning a champ giveaway. So it's bullish like that.
Indeed.
What's up, Damp Baby? If you want to join us, definitely feel free to request to speak.
Yes, sir. Now it's a party.
Hey,
Now it's a party.
everybody.
The Thirst Company for is a party.
What's up, boys?
What up?
So,
All right.
I know I just jumped in out of nowhere, but people are wondering who I am. I work with OneVerse, and I work a little bit with DeFi The Gods on Harmony, and, just kind of everywhere, so...
That's actually a perfect place to start. We were just kind of getting done with introductions and going to get into it. So, Dan Baby, you bring up a good point. I know you were like a part of the team, and now you're like a contributor to the team. So, can you guys just introduce yourself? I know you just started and kind of explain your role with what you guys are building.
Sure, yeah, of course. I'm the founder of DeFi The Gods. Around December, I started coming up with all the game theory and things like that, how the game was going to work and building a team, all that good stuff. And then we got our website launched and a whole team put together, including game devs, artists, community manager, moderators, all that good stuff. So that's kind of what I've been doing as far as DeFi The Gods. And Soaring Fish, the community manager, can also give a little.
Yeah. So, hey guys, I'm Soaring Fish. Sorry about my voice, it's a bit early for a weekend. I'm the community manager. I've been with the team since inception. I've known Damp and King from a past guild that we were in. So we got together, we messaged each other, talked about starting our own thing, which is where we are today. I'm also a founder of another NFT guild. We're called Savvy Esports. I've been into gaming ever since. But this is like my first project into NFTs, building one. So it's exciting being in Harmony. And by the way, thanks for having us over, Beeks. It's a pleasure seeing the cross-chain guild here.
Yeah, thanks, and that's really interesting. Your background with that you both had background in guilds and everything, so you're quite familiar with the space. Then I imagine. And so, Dan, baby, so like I said, you were part of the team, and now just kind of are you just a contributor, or what exactly is the official term you would give yourself for the DeFi the Gods team?
That's a good question. I don't really know. Contributor sounds good. I think that, a while back I had, like you said, I had worked with them more full time. Some things had happened. I had stepped back. I had put more time into one verse, and now I'm helping them out a bit. Yeah, so mainly contributor. Just filling in where I can. I'd say for DCG and more so like grant stuff. Talking with the Harmony team. You know that outreach for them, and I guess more of like in the advisory role right now, if that makes sense.
Got it. And I had listened to another podcast you guys were hosted on, and you even have part of your team is like a game theory designer, and to that effect, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, the team's bigger than just what's currently present. If I'm correct in that thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we have. There's myself, Soaring, Soaring's brother Dabster. He's college educated in analytics and game theory. We also have an artist who owns their own studio, the Sound of Thunder studio in Spain, Madrid. And then we have a team of three Unity developers. One does 3D development. One does like front end UI UX stuff, and then the other does the contracts and code and whatnot. They also have that team also has other projects on Harmony that do pretty well. And they also work with a lot of other projects. They work with Atlantis. They work with Easy Tools. They actually created Easy Tools. So yeah, pretty interesting group of guys. We have a few moderators. We have a head mod, and then a couple people under them. Yeah, pretty full team. It's pretty exciting.
That is a full team, and that actually brings me to a question of mine. So, in this climate, as a builder, as a project developer, what are your guys' thoughts on building in a bear market, and your kind of outlook, and kind of seeing what kind of viable runway do you have, and just the whole thing in terms of just getting something out to production.
Yeah, so I guess to kind of start answering that, I'd say you have to be really dedicated in a bear market, obviously. You have to have a dedicated community, a dedicated team, which was definitely a part of my process when building the community and team and reaching out and all that. So as far as a group of people that are getting work done, we still have that even in this market. Right now, the mints have obviously slowed down. It's picked up actually a little bit strangely since the bear market started. But we're launching token with Unite Finance towards the end of this month, potentially a little bit into June. We're still working out some details with them. I believe we have a call Monday. But as far as avenues to bring things in and keep the team working, we have some marketing strategies with Unite, as well as plans with the token launch and whatnot. We also have plans to apply for Harmony Grant when that reopens. No matter how stringent the requirements become, we'll make sure that we meet them and get that. It's not even just about the money, really. It's mostly about connecting with the Harmony team and the community in a trusting way. Like, hey guys, here we are, this is what we're about, and we got the Harmony Grant, so come play. Yeah, I guess that's kind of where we are right now. Nothing's really changed. Honestly, we're still just creating assets, getting the game going, talking to the community, doing AMAs and stuff. The market hasn't changed our sentiment on getting this project built and out.
Yeah, we still have some plans for a sort of mini game to be released prior to the full game, as well as token launch correct and some staking mechanics to be launched. So as far as road, what do you call this, runway, we're still building. Um, Nothing's changed, just like what Austin said, and yeah, we're still building regardless. We've been in bear markets before, and we're gonna keep building, and that's how projects succeed, even during hard times.
Yeah, Dan, baby, I'd love your just 2 cents too. As I know you're like a developer and a project, manager. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, looking at the bear market objectively, I think I can speak on behalf of, my interaction with some other projects. I know that what I'm seeing in the space is a lot of people are getting more conservative. But I'm seeing builders work harder than they've ever worked before. I think everybody realizes that this is a prime opportunity that if some of the major players do step down, it's going to leave these new projects up at the bat or up at the plate to swing. And so I'm seeing projects work twice as hard trying to get through and start pumping out some cool content during the bear market. So personally, my sentiment hasn't changed. It's a bummer. Um, if anybody that's listening was in Lunar or UST, I'm sorry, please. I hope you're okay. It's been real rough lately, but as far as sentiment that I've seen from builders, especially on Harmony, it just seems like everybody understands that what the right thing right now to do is to just work harder.
yeah, I love that answer. That's great. Access has a question. He wrote in the general chat. We're gonna just ping pong here a little bit, just jumping topics, keep it fun. What are the biggest inspirations for the art style for DeFi the Gods?
Um, Actually, we went completely original with our art style, so it was kind of mostly from our artist's perspective. Unfortunately, he's not here. Like, we gave him a general idea of what we were looking for, and then he would give us several examples. We would pick and build from that until we got what we wanted. So it's really original, like really from the minds of the team. Um, we knew, like when we started, we could have just spent a couple bucks and got a tile set and put together a game, but that's not what we were trying to do. Um, yeah, so the art's really kind of original. We're definitely going with like a medievally theme, not particularly based on anything. With It's hard to describe. Not really a touch of modernism because there's not going to be like guns or things like that. Um, it's really hard to describe. It'll be something you guys will have to continue keeping an eye out as we release leaks and stuff. But you'll get more of a sense of where we're going when we release our mini game, and you kind of see the art in that as well.
Yeah, so let's talk about the mini games because Soren Fisher brought it up and you just mentioned it. So, can you break that down for us? Just what are we to expect with that, and is there an ETA, and what's it all about?
Yeah, of course. So essentially, what we wanted to do was provide a means for our community and NFT holders to start earning um, items and resources and things they'll be able to use in game later down the road when we launch. So we decided to create the DTG minigame, which will be an idle questing minigame. So essentially, you'll stake your NFTs for 8 hours at a time and receive tokens for your time in the quest. When you start the quest, you'll have the option to roll a dice to potentially decrease your quest time and increase your rewards. But that also goes the other way. If you roll too low, you'll increase your quest time and lower your rewards. You can opt out of that. You don't have to do it. And at the end of the quest, you'll have the option to double your rewards. So we've created a token specifically for this minigame. We'll release the name when we release our NFT staking with easy tools, which should be tomorrow. This token will be used for the minigame marketplace, which is where you'll be able to buy these items and resources and things. Each tier of character has its own base rewards. So I believe commons get 1 token per quest, not counting dice rolls. This is all base. Uncommons get 2, rares get 3, legendaries get 5, and mythics get 10. So you'll be able to use those tokens to purchase potions and boosts and things like that for PvP and during the game. We're also going to allocate a specific amount of native token after we launch with Unite. So you'll be able to exchange some of the tokens that you earned in the game as well for our native. It won't be 1-for-1. We'll allocate a specific amount for this exchange, and you'll get a percent based on how many tokens you allocated compared to the total amount.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit. So I have heard various, you have repeatedly said that there will be little to no benefit of having more or owning more than one champ. Is that still where we are with that?
In the game, in the actual live Defy the Gods game, we hadn't. Yes, that because you're gonna have to put a lot of time into your characters to create a good and unique character to your playstyle. But as of right now, we don't have 5,000 players. We haven't minted out, and the people holding our NFTs deserve to get rewarded. We launched February 28th, so it's been March, April, May. It's been quite a few months. And this bear market's got everybody down, so we just figured we needed to throw something out there as a kind of surprise and something to help them out and keep people interested in DeFi the Gods. When we launch once we start launching the live PvP in the live game, the Idle Quest series will be discontinued.
Okay, so help me. I have a simple brain, so help me understand this. If I'm to believe that only one hero, or I wouldn't have like, so just with the mini games, right? So obviously, if I mint a common, I would still want to try and get my hands on a legendary, or something like that. And so I'm sure you've already had to like the obvious questions of how do you de-incentivize like multi-walleting and why wouldn't I want to try and mint for a legendary if I know I'm going to get 5x the rewards or something like that?
Yeah, so when we originally created DeFi the Gods, we had absolutely no plans for an idle minigame. So we've just been kind of rolling with the punches as far as that goes. As of right now, and when we launch the minigame, for the duration of the minigame, it will be beneficial to have more than one champion. As far as the live game goes, you'll be better off exchanging some of your champions on the secondary market and focusing on a few characters or just one. We're not aiming to de-incentivize because there are some people who actually do spend enough time on RPGs in a day to do well with more than one character. Not at the same time, but they could switch through because different characters will have different benefits. I will say I do think it's worth trying to get a higher tier champion because they'll have better stats in game, as well as better rewards for these quests here. The idle quests, I mean.
Sorry,
but
Fish, I saw
yeah,
you unmuted. Did you want to add to that or damp?
Yeah. So makes for in perspective of guilds, it's good for guild owners to actually purchase or mint a lot of or try to mint heroes since right now it's still early, so you have a chance of still getting your hands on mythic champions. And once the game fully launches, um, guild owners or the managers of the guild can start to disperse heroes, champions into their guild members to start playing the game. So what we're doing now for the this idler is to incentivize early minters as well. to actually earn already, and people who just want to get into the DeFi the Gods ecosystem already. And yeah, that's basically the easiest explanation for in terms of guilds. Since you guys are a guild.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And just for everyone that's unaware, I mean, yeah. So the mint is not out. So for those that are interested, is it 1,001 for a mint right now?
Yep.
Yes, it is. And we're actually considering hard capping the mint cost at 1,000 and just leaving it there. We'll have more updates on that, obviously.
Understood. Um, okay, so you talk about with the mini games. So I hear what you're saying. So the mini games was kind of a little bit of a modular addition in the meantime to kind of give your community kind of something to do, for lack of a better term. So with the token, with the production of the mini games, it sounds like you are going to need this some type of a token launch in collaboration with Unite Finance. So is that kind of happening in tandem, or?
No, we've created our Unity developer that I mentioned earlier that also writes code, has created a marketplace, a token, um, all the things we need for this mini game. This token we launch with this mini game will not be the native token that we're launching with Unite Finance. It won't have liquidity. It'll simply be used in the marketplace from the mini game and down the road to exchange for our native when we launch with Unite.
Interesting. And I guess just from a DeFi perspective, what's your guy? I mean, I'm not really sure about the answer on this. So, where are you guys with like farming and pools and liquidity pools and all that kind of stuff? Is your game gonna include those kinds of features, or more just about gameplay and the staking?
Our our focus is gameplay,
Fees
but
in terms of farming, staking rewards as well. I mean, our game is very big. We're trying to build an ecosystem within DeFi the Gods, which will allow players to actually sell their items for native currency, native token, and then sell it to fiat. Since we're a play to earn, and yeah, we will be partnering with hopefully other exchanges to build more liquidity for native tokens since we're play to earn. So if you guys tried other play to earn games, it's very important to have liquidity to actually get in and out. And yeah, so we will be doing LP farms and stuff like that for DeFi.
yeah, we'll definitely be having those things as far as LPs and stuff like Soaring said. But yeah, our main focus is creating a cool, awesome game with DeFi aspects. It's kind of like game first, DeFi second. We're obviously on the blockchain, and the goal here is kind of when I saw NFTs and smart contracts and all that cool stuff for the first time, my brain kind of went to like, how can this change gaming like as a whole? Not even just necessarily like in the DeFi sense, but with DeFi included, you can own your gameplay, you can own your character, you can own your items, you can trade them for currency, you can, not get ripped off by the company that makes all this stuff, like on Fortnite or something. If you spend $1,000 on skins, they're pretty much just useless skins that you can't do anything with after. And if they decide you're cheating or something, they can just ban you, even if you're not. And then all your money spent's out the window. So yeah, I think coming into here, the biggest goal for us is getting gamers to switch over to this style of blockchain gaming, so that they can really take control of what they're doing, if that makes sense.
We're a big fan of the DeFi Kingdoms style of how they educate people who are not familiar with DeFi. So for sure, we'll be going that route as well, on education and adoption for DeFi. It's nice to educate people on how liquidity pools work, and the risks also entailed. But obviously, with those risks, there's also a chance for high reward. So yeah, we would love to gamify DeFi as well, since I'm sure we want to capture majority of the gamers who are not into crypto, and you know create them. I mean, like, explain how DeFi works, and that's a big one of our big missions, and our vision is to create, like, to normalize gaming and DeFi into one, give back as well to gamers, and especially for countries, like for me, I'm based in the Philippines. When Axie Infinity um boomed, it was already such a big hit that people were actually quitting jobs, since it paid more than actual minimum wage here in Manila, and we just want to replicate that, and build on top of that structure, and we understand, like, DeFi the Gods is still ways to go from actually launching the final game, and we always repeat that, the we always repeat to the community to be very patient, since we're not building a simple point and click game that you just leave behind or let it run on the backside for like 8 hours. We're building a very hands-on game. Like what we also keep saying is, you can't hoard so many champions. You can't play them all basically, and that's how challenging the game is going to be. I mean, there's going to be a market for min maxing, people just maximizing the character level and stuff like that, and then selling them off just like in RuneScape. But yeah, it's going
So
to be a massive, massive project.
I want to touch on the gaming component in just 2 seconds, but right before I do that, Dan, baby, just on the DeFi side, I know you work with Unite Finance. Do you have an opinion on kind of what you love, or something about kind of the DeFi model that DeFi the Gods team is like working on in the background? Is there something you can kind of touch on with that?
Yeah, I think that I know that I have had some period in the middle where I wasn't around while they were building, but I was in a lot of the early conversations as far as tokenomics go for DTG, and think what I like to think about when I think of DTG is RuneScape, right? That game captured it perfectly. Um, Even though it's not crypto, we can kind of pull some really similar ideas, from crypto that are in application there. They have a really nice hub that players control where they can set prices and trade their items, and a really nice open market. There are different things that players can build that give them perks and all these different aspects. And along with that, um, there's a lot of things that are going to be a little different with DTG. Inherently, as it is going to be, more focused on the game, there will be a lot of ins and outs, and that's something that I'll personally help develop on that side. But um, we want to give more value to an item, if that makes sense. Like, we want you to really feel like the items that you get in the game matter. We don't want it to just be like this fish, and then we're like, hey, you can use this in a month, or you can do this something with this eventually. We want to make it feel like when you're playing the game, you're getting these items, and then you look at the item, and it's a real decision in your mind. Like, okay, I could sell this, or I could bring this back to my land and do this and that with it. I could bring it here and actually unlock this with it. And so we're trying to design it differently so it doesn't feel like such a, okay, I made these tokens, I can get in and out, but it's like, okay, I finally got this item. What else does it unlock? What else can I do with it? And so that's my angle of DTG is I want people to value the item instead of thinking about the value of the item, if that makes sense. And I think through that, if we can accomplish that, the economy will follow and flow perfect because people will actually believe in the items they have.
Well said.
Yeah, so we have another question from the general chat from our guy Axis in the audience. So let's talk about the gameplay a little bit, because even what Soaring Fish said is like, like some of it'll be so kind of quote unquote hard to in terms of the gameplay, that that's why you'll just to level up one hero is kind of, or one champ is like enough, right? That kind of narrative. So the question is, a common occurrence for many on-chain games is to focus more on stats and preparation, and the actual combat is simulated with very little player input. How much will players' skill level impact the success in PvE and PvP?
Yeah, so as far as the player's actual skills to use the keyboard and mouse to move your character around and attack people and things is going to be really important, because it's not going to be like a point and shoot. Like, you're going to have to run around, dodge, try and shoot. You might have a melee, they might have a ranger. So you might be running around arrows trying to get close to get a shot in. As far as actual skill levels in game, obviously, the more leveled up you are, the more beneficial that's going to be. Characters will be fairly customizable through a skill tree. So a lot of these, even though they're healers or DPS or tanks, there'll still be a lot of like wiggle room kind of to really make a unique character. Um, but yeah, you'll have to spend time playing the game. Like, a good example would be if you go into PvP and you've been playing for a while and you get up against a new guy. Um, there's no chance they're going to beat someone that has the skill and experience and has been playing. It's not like one of those luck, you might get lucky games. Um, it's pretty much 100% going to depend on skill and how you decide to level and move your champ and what you do with your land. And there's going to be a lot of factors.
Well, that's pretty exciting for a blockchain gaming.
Yeah, and to add to that, it's we have a unique setup for our guild system. So typically you have like a guild leader, right? Our plan for this game to set up guilds is that we'll make it function like a DAO, where there's no central leader per se, and people will vote on decisions that the guild will do. So for example, if they vote to like um spend funds of their guild treasury to request for like this major quest, or they'll make like a DAO proposal to like we should like farm or mine something and spend this much money on pickaxes or something like that. So that's something unique that we're building for in terms of like guild system in the game. And PvP as well will be high stakes as well, since we'll have casual um, and the wager based PvP. So that will you'll be having to sort of bet or stake a amount of native token, and in the hopes, and if you win the fight, obviously you take all the staked native token. And open battle, open PvP will also be in the game. So we'll have certain areas in the game where there'll be rare resources or rare mob spawns, and the zone will be open for PvP. So having a party or a guild defending you while you're attacking the mob or getting resources will be very important. And as well as, possibly mercenary style um, teams where you pay a group of people to defend you, or you pay a group of people to attack the certain person. So there's a lot that's gonna be happening and going around in the game, and we're looking forward to seeing how the community will react. Since we're very focused, we listen to people, as well as our DTG flag. If you could see Austin's PFP, that's made by one of our community members, Mr. Peaky. So yeah, just to give like a taste of what's to come for the game.
Mr. Beaky, not to be confused with Beeks, of course.
Of course.
Well, I mean, the guild thing sounds so. Obviously, we love to hear that as a guild. But we all play when I say we is OXG, and we all play like DeFi Kingdoms and stuff like that. And even what we always wish was like that sense of that World of Warcraft raiding, where like if there was that kind of social component where you feel like you're like playing with people, that would be so much fun. So I don't know if that's exactly what you're talking about. That kind of really
Yeah.
yeah, the
Like you'll see
community.
people
Yeah.
running around in the town, in the village, or like in the dungeon. That's exactly what we're going for as well.
Yeah, it'll be a
Leroy
shared
Jenkins.
server. Leroy Jenkins.
So I
I
mean,
still
when
you.
when, when can we expect any of like of that kind of like beta production, whatever you want to call it? How far out are we on that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so when in talking with the Unity team and kind of giving them our idea and what we're trying to do, they said it wouldn't take longer than 2 months to release PvP. We're gonna refocus. We have a bunch of assets and stuff ready and going, and on their end, they have a bunch of stuff ready and going. We kind of switched the direction we were heading to work on the mini game real quick. But as soon as we're done with that, we'll be back to getting the PvP going. That'll be the first release we have. Will be live PvP, players fighting against each other. So hopefully no longer than 2 months after we resume production, which for the amount of content in the fighting should be pretty good amount of time. Not too bad, in my opinion.
So safe to say this year.
Yes, yeah, you guys will be able to run around this year, definitely.
Awesome.
Yeah, we will not be releasing the full open map with our initial release. Unfortunately, it'll just be PvP, but we'll continue building, releasing updates until the game is quote unquote complete, and then we'll obviously continue updates and continue with our plans for expansion and whatnot.
Yeah. Um. So good news is like as soon as we get out of this bear market, and the sooner that DTG can get more investors and seed funding to actually scale our operation. Well, we've already spoken to a couple of game design studios to ask for help for building the game, expanding the art style and all stuff like that. So I'm sure you guys heard of this NFT game back in the day called Chain Guardians. So I don't know if that's familiar. So we've spoken to their game design studio. They're based here in the Philippines and in Asia. Um, and they're just waiting for our go signal and our funding to actually get them started. But yeah, that's really in the pipeline to actually scale the game. And right now, obviously, we can't build this massive game with just three Unity guys and like one artist, one studio. So we're pretty excited to partner with a full-fledged game design uh, company.
I just want to remind everyone in the audience, if you want to ask a question, feel free to request the mic or just type it in general, and we can ask it. And I have a couple more questions, but before I ask them, is there anything you guys want to like specifically talk about? I know there's a lot to still cover, so I'll if you guys want to kind of point the direction, I'll let you take it.
Actually, yeah, I think now's a good time. I actually bought a ticket for NFT New York. So I'll be headed down to New York City in June, towards the end of June. Kind of meet some people, hopefully make some more connections. I plan on trying to meet the Harmony team in person so they can get a face kind of behind DeFi the Gods and whatnot. Just thought that'd be cool to mention.
When is NFT? Is it NYC you said, or NY?
Yeah, it'll be June 20th through the 23rd, I believe.
Okay, coming up soon.
Yes, should be exciting. I'm
Yep.
pumped.
We have another question from the general chat from our guy Pink Panda, who I believe minted a couple, or at least one champ already, but he's asking how many of each rarity out of the 5,000 heroes will there be? Or champs, sorry. I'm trying to get the terminology right. 5,000 champs.
Oops, sorry, 1 second. Let me read that myself. That sounded... My brain didn't... How many comments? Oh, okay. We do have the specific ballpark... Well, specific ballpark, that's a oxymoron. We have the ballpark numbers somewhere. That was Dabster's thing. What was it exactly? I think commons were...
Record as well. I can't seem to find it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, we don't have that
TBD.
specific information handy. If I remember correctly, don't quote me on this, but it's probably close. I think commons were 40%, uncommons were 30%, so that's 70%. And then we had rares at 15%, I believe. Brings us to 85. Legendaries at 10 or 8%, and mythics, I believe, at 5%
So I'm just
out of the
Oh, go ahead.
5,000.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so and just for anyone that doesn't know, so that's a kind of an interesting part of the creation of DeFi the Gods, I think, is that there's only going to be 5,000. Is that a hard cap number on that?
So we didn't want um, to create kind of like a hype based game with tons of characters. So, but we do want new players who are actually interested in playing the game to be able to join. So this is our workaround for that. When we launch the live game along with live quests, one of the quest series will be called the Blood Crystal Quest. It'll only be accessible to these 5,000 champions that you can mint now. A very rare reward for completing this quest will be a blood crystal, which you can exchange for a common champion NFT. But these champion NFTs are different than the 5,000 you can mint now. They're different in three ways. They're only ever common. They cannot take part in the blood crystal quest, and once their health reaches 0, they die. Now that doesn't mean you can't use a health restoring item or potion and restore their health and keep them alive. It just means if you mess around, you're going to find out, basically.
Well, let me just double click on what you just said. So there'll only ever be commons. Was that to mean that regular champs can be upgradable, or that?
Well, no, you can mint a mythic champ.
Okay, gotcha. So they're just
But
only commons.
yeah, you'll never earn a mythic champ or a rare champ. You'll only ever earn a common champ. Yeah.
And is that kind of
And
like
this,
to think of like a Generation 1 or something like that versus a Generation 0 hero in DeFi Kingdoms?
no, because it's only there's no really breeding mechanics or anything, so it's not really generational. Through the lore, basically, some magic from the lake that the champions come from leaks into this cave and gets into these crystals. And those are the rewards that the champions can receive from the quest, essentially. Yeah, if that answers your question.
Yep. Let's see, another question from the crowd. So Redguard had, with initial PvP launch planned, are you looking at just melee PvP, or will archers shoot arrows, mages magic, etc.?
Yeah, so unfortunately with the animation style we're going for, it's going to take a while to get all those cool spell animations. So the PvP will start with punches, kicks, and rush attacks. And we'll be adding, hopefully sooner than later, more artists to our team that can focus specifically on that kind of stuff. So it's hard to say exactly how long it'll take after launch to get those initiated into the game. But the goal is to continue expanding the team and shortening deadlines and whatnot as we do so, because all the deadlines we have now are based on the current team we have.
Gotcha. Let's see. Another question was, do you also need to be specific level before you can enter certain areas? I guess that's assuming in the map.
Yes. So as far as exploration goes, it's going to be pretty interesting. There's going to be hidden areas, puzzles, level requirements, quest requirements, things like that to get through the map. So you're really going to have to play to earn in this game. You're not going to be able to buy levels. You're going to have to go out and earn experience. It really truly is a play to earn and a play to win. It's going to be really exciting.
So one of my questions I had for you guys in here, listening to another podcast you were on, was talking about in the play to earn model that one of the most robust parts of the earning component would be in this crafting of NFTs that you get from the questing and stuff like that. So to me that sound one, is that still how you feel about where people are going to be looking to really take advantage of the play to earn system, and two, that sounds like a marketplace is going to be a really big deal for you guys. So is that something you're working on, or are you going to partner with an existing marketplace?
No, we're going to have our marketplace in game. The idea is we're going to have marketplaces spread out through different towns to kind of isolate resources and whatnot. Crafting is definitely going to be one of the biggest things in the game as far as individual gameplay goes. Like as far as singular player earning for themselves and playing for themselves. And that's because we're going to have a really unique way of crafting through blueprints and things like that. So items will be, you might have the same item as somebody else, but theirs could still be better based on blueprints and things like that. So yeah, the marketplace is going to be huge. Crafting is going to be huge. Leveling up your skills to be able to manipulate resources into things you can craft is going to be huge. All that good stuff.
Yeah, we're inspired as well by EVE Online, in terms of like player-owned economies, as well as if you guys played this new game called New World. So New World has like different towns with their own unique marketplaces, and that's why I was mentioning a while ago that there might be like sort of bodyguard or mercenary teams, since players will have to transfer manually and like literally walk the space to deliver goods to a different city, and hopefully sell their goods at a better price from where they came from. So that's our idea as well of how the marketplaces will work in our game.
Okay, so building, I love an in-game marketplace, but that sounds like a ton of work, obviously, to develop and build that out. But super exciting. Let's see, how many more questions do I have? And I'm also trying to look at the crowd here. Yes, so Swordfish, it looked like you
There's a
answered.
question I think from Pink Panda.
Yep.
Is the 5% mythic already minted? So for now, I believe not all mythics have been minted yet. So there's still a chance on getting yourself lucky with a mythic if you head to our website and mint right now. So yeah, that answers that.
And then I guess just to circle back with the mini games and this token that I know you're kind of saying like it'll be like a convertible token to when you do have the official token launch for the game. So before that, is there something that people will be seeing? Is there a type of value for this token with the mini game, or is it going to be kind of like a hoarding and kind of a accumulating thing? How do you see it playing out?
No, there's value to the token as far as not liquidity wise, but value to the player as far as excelling in the early gameplay of DeFi the Gods once it gets to live. So as I was saying earlier, there's going to be a marketplace page on our website, along with this idle RPG will be on our website as well. You'll be able to earn your tokens go to the marketplace and purchase boosts and things for PvP and whatnot. Things like speed boosts, maybe strength boosts, stuff like that. And then also you'll have the people that want to hoard as well and get the largest percent of that exchange that they can.
One more question from the crowd. Redguard's asking, is there a chance for possible secondary class after reaching a certain level?
We haven't. So there's really no point in adding a secondary class because of how unique you'll be able to kind of guide your character through the skill tree. So essentially, they're going to have um, combat levels that they'll need to raise through physically fighting monsters and people. Every time you raise a level, you'll get a skill point. Then you'll be able to go to your skill tree and start molding your character into what it's going to be. So you can you'll be creating your own secondary class. So if you have a healer, but you feel like you also want to do damage, you can increase your healer's attack power and things like that. Not as high as a character who is a DPS, but high enough to definitely be considered like a secondary. It just won't be labeled, if that makes sense.
It does. And so Shlim asked when minigame launch. You said something as soon as something about tomorrow. There was going to be an update on that.
Tomorrow, we'll potentially be launching, within tomorrow or the next day, we'll be launching NFT staking on Easy Tools. And this is for people that don't want to go back every 8 hours and check their quests. They can go on to Easy Tools, stake their champion NFT, as many as they want, and earn the token, the same token as people are earning in the minigame. Not as many, but it's more passive. And that'll be released sooner than the minigame. I believe the minigame is planned to be dropped within the next 2 weeks. I think 1 week at the soonest.
All right, beautiful. And I know we are creeping up on an hour here, so I'm going to try and get through this as quickly as possible to respect everyone's time here. So, last couple questions. Are there things like time to kill being taken into consideration when balancing for combat?
Yes, we've considered multiple setups for PvP. We want to make the PvP matches short, short enough for like active engagement. So hopefully at least like when you're fighting 1v1s, expect a battle to be like 3 minutes. I think it was 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Not more
Yeah,
than 10 minutes. That'll be too long, I believe.
yeah, I think it's most likely going to be less than 5 minutes, depending on the skill level of
Yeah.
each character. If you're going up against someone that doesn't know what they're doing, you might smack them around in a couple seconds.
Yeah, and then I think DJ Marsman has a question as well. Stamina system. We will not be having a stamina system like 40 energy, blah blah. Like if you play what's that game? Clash of Clans where they brick wall you after a certain time per day. We won't be having that in the game, so you can enjoy to your heart's content playing the game. But obviously, it's gonna be a grind if you're gonna do that. But yeah, we won't be putting like a brick wall on players to not play.
Yeah, I think the only walls we'll have will be on like daily and weekly quests, but there's
Yeah.
going to be lore related quests in the game as well that every character is going to have access to.
Yeah.
These quests will be probably put behind level and skill requirements and whatnot, but yeah.
Yeah, and Jerome also asked, "Hey, what's up, Jerome? Will there be a reset skill tree? Yes, there will be, since we want to allow flexibility for players to create different builds. So there'll be like hybrid tanks. I'm sure the typical meta builds are like battle priest. So we're gonna have all sorts of fun like that. Yeah,
Yes, you will have to pay a fee to remove all your skill points. But we're also thinking of adding presets as well, so that you can pay a fee to have skill tree presets to swap through. Um, the reason we'd be adding a fee is because it would be a little ridiculous to just allow people to swap through all sorts of builds as they want, but we'll be using the tokens paid to do that to give back to the community.
Awesome. Well, with that said, speaking of community, I know two things I want to mention. I know one, you've got a champ giveaway that I think you are being very grateful with your resources and going to give a single champ giveaway to somebody in our audience right now. And the other thing I definitely want to mention is I think the details are going to get ironed out, but we're going to have you sponsoring one of our very first gaming tournaments. And with that, you have donated it very graciously to other champs for the winners of those gaming tournaments. And when we talk about gaming tournaments, we're talking about non-crypto blockchain gaming tournaments, just kind of social tournaments, just competitive, just for the fun, bragging rights, that kind of thing. But we were also looking to, because we're this quote unquote non-financially incentivized guild, we do kind of operate off of donations and things like that. And so, just anytime we, partner with a project or something like that, just trying to come up with these more engaging ways to do different types of sponsors or giveaways and things of that nature. So really grateful to you guys for partnering up with us on one of our first tournament sponsorships. So that'll be fun. But King Ostwinnington III, I'm going to give the champ giveaway mic to you if you figured out a system for how you want to do this.
Yeah, I did. It's pretty simple.
Okay.
Everybody get ready to type in general.
Uh-oh.
Give you guys a couple seconds.
Get the Twitter fingers ready.
Yeah. I'm thinking of a number 1 through 20. 69. Oh, damn, baby. What the heck? Why would you get it? You can't have it.
Reroll. Redo it again. Pick a new number. I had to throw
Okay.
it out.
Dang it. Reroll. All right. And go. Jerome.
Dang! Congrats. That was a frenzy in there.
Awesome.
Got it.
I can't tell if this was going to end in disaster or gracefulness.
That was hilarious. When as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Golly!" It's funnier because me and Damp Baby have been friends since high school. We know each other IRL, so it's even funnier. I said he got that. Rigged.
Go figure.
That's funny.
Oh, well,
It would be rigged. Oh, but guess what, Jerome? You won a rare cleric.
Ooh. Heal me.
Just freshly minted today.
Yeah, not financial advice, but just on a personal note, that is one thing I keep thinking about. Because I mean, when you pitch it originally, it's like, you got just infinite NFTs or 10,000 NFTs. So this idea of just 5,000 champs is kind of like, okay, that like piques my interest. Just what's the, what's behind that? And so I hear what you're saying, but then I don't know. I'm kind of like, I mean, I know the minigame might just be a little bit of a distraction or something since that's not the true gameplay, but even with that, it's like I might feel like minting a couple just to get the higher rare champ or something like that. But I don't know how. I guess you can't really suggest whether that's a good or bad decision. So,
well, I can say there's some deliciously priced floor champs on the NFTkey.app.
Oh,
I will say that. So we're on the secondary. So feel free to not mint and go over there and grab those two. However you guys want to win them in contests or giveaways. However we can get a champ in your pocket.
Yeah, I love the idea behind just 5,000 of these OG champs. I think it's so cool. And then once the blood crystal mechanic comes out, I think that what we'll see is the people who have been here early will have the kind of the older generation, and then moving forward, those might be traded more. People, they might be more like people are looking for them. If that makes sense. Whereas the blood crystal is a great point for like new players to get in, but it's like a hardcore where if you kind of mess up, like that's it. You got to get a new one. I love that idea. I think that's a lot of fun. Personally, coming from playing like a lot of RuneScape, hardcore Iron Man, that is my go-to there. Complete masochist. So I like the idea of nothing being safe. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, speaking of nothing being safe, just real quick before we end this. In the PvP zones, outside of the PvP arena, If you die, you're going to drop your inventory.
Whoo.
So just remember that.
I'm gonna PK you guys.
I'm going to PK you
My pirate. That's why
while
they
you're
call
PKing
pirate.
them. All right. Well, that was super fun, everybody. We really appreciate the listen. 13 listeners in this market is amazing, and I'm happy to have all of you, and you're all beautiful.
Yeah, just
Yeah, thanks for having us.
yep. Yeah. Any last words from you guys, and I'll close this out for sure.
Yeah, nothing for me other than the fact that I really appreciate everybody. This is a really pivotal time for DTG, and I'm gonna help them as much as I can as far as funding and grant and advising and working with them. And I'm sure over time I'll do more and more with them. And I just really appreciate DTG, and I love working with these guys, and I love that you guys invited us into the Discord. We'd love to come back. We'd love to do more partnership stuff with you guys and continue to do gaming stuff with you. I think that's really great in a partnership that we can continue to have flourish.
Heck yeah. Yeah, if you guys ever have a tournament worthy of winning a Mythic champion, let me know. We have a bunch in the multi-sig for promotions and partnerships and stuff.
All right. Yeah, we'll let you know how the
Ooh.
success of the maiden tournament turns out, and we'll let you know.
Awesome.
Well, really, really appreciate you guys. Just to kind of circle this whole thing back around, like Dan Baby just said, and like I said at the very beginning, like, on one hand, it's like you almost want to suggest to people, like, take some time off Discord, like, get away from it. But at the same time, on the other hand, I'm very appreciative and very grateful for everyone in this Discord, and especially in this audience and with us right now. So thank you guys for being a part of it. I know it's Friday. I know it's evening for where we are in the U.S. and stuff like that. So, go enjoy yourselves. Thank you. And yeah, when would love to have you guys back and get around two on this, because I'm sure we could talk some more.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Heck yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you. I think this was a very great AMA, and we will get this uploaded on YouTube and share the link with you guys as soon as possible. And we will keep you up to date with the upcoming gaming tournament.
Awesome. Have a great night, everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Bye. Thanks again.
Bye-bye.